So, is your business growing, but it feels like you're constantly just putting out fires? Well, today, we're going to talk about a tool that can help you break out of that cycle: business consultancy. And look, this isn't just for the big corporations anymore. It's a really smart investment for any business in Bangladesh that's serious about real, sustainable growth. You know, if you're a business owner in Bangladesh, you know this feeling all too well. The market is just buzzing with opportunity, right? But at the same time, you're getting bogged down by all these operational headaches. It's like this constant tug of war between your ambition and just plain exhaustion, trying to build the future while you're just trying to survive today. In this kind of environment, it forces a change. The old way of doing things, relying on gut feelings, improvising, that might have gotten you started. But to actually scale up, you need the new way, a disciplined, evidence-based approach. Honestly, every major decision now carries way too much weight to be left to chance. Okay, so let's get a really clear picture of this unique business environment. What are we actually talking about here? What exactly are these constraints that are standing in the way of all that incredible growth potential?
And these aren't just anecdotes, stories you hear. This is what business surveys find over and over again. You've got intense competition, regulations that seem to shift all the time, the constant struggle to get financing, unreliable utilities. Each one of these is a full-time job in itself, and somehow you're juggling all of them at once.
So when you're facing all of that, what happens? Well, you, the owner, you become the chief firefighter. You're the single point of solution for absolutely everything. And sure, it's a heroic effort, but it's also a trap. Why? Because a business simply cannot grow beyond your own personal capacity. That right there, that's the ultimate bottleneck. All right, let's start talking about the solution. Because if the problem is this over-reliance on the owner, then the solution has to be building a stronger system. And this is where consultancy stops being some vague idea and becomes a really practical toolkit for your business.
So what is it really? Let's just demystify the term for a second. At its core, consultancy is about bringing a structured, logical approach to your business challenges. It's not just about getting advice. It's about having a clear process from digging into the data, to planning, to actually helping you and your team get it done.
And that process delivers three things that are incredibly hard to develop on your own when you're busy with the day-to-day. First, you get an outside perspective. They can see the forest for the trees when you're stuck down in the weeds. Second, specialized expertise. Think of it as getting top-level skills in finance or operations without paying a full-time salary. And third, proven frameworks. They bring methods that have already been tested, so you're not trying to reinvent the wheel. This slide right here really lays out the whole transformation perfectly. A consultant's job is to help you move from the left column to the right one. You go from a business built on instinct, which can be fragile, to a solid foundation that's built on data and process. It's all about building a business that can stand on its own 2 feet, not just on your shoulders. Okay, here we go. This is the part everyone really wants to know about. It all sounds pretty good, but is it actually worth the money? Let's break down the return on this kind of investment in really concrete, practical terms. So a good consultant usually pays for themselves in 4 key ways. First, profit increase, just by finding those little hidden leaks in your margins. Second, better cash flow, which is a huge problem for so many profitable but cash-poor businesses. Third, loss avoidance. Just think about the cost of one bad expansion decision. And finally, and this is a big one, capability building. A great consultant leaves you with systems that keep creating value long after they're gone. Now that is a return that really compounds. Let's make this even more real. Just look at this number. Let's say your business has a turnover of 5 crore taka. If you can find a tiny 1% improvement in your net margin, which is exactly what a consultant is trained to do, that adds 5 lakh taka straight to your bottom line, every single year. Suddenly, that consulting fee starts to look like a very smart investment. So if you're starting to see the potential value here, the next logical questions are when and how, right? So let's look at a practical playbook for how to bring on a consultant in a way that actually works. The need for a consultant isn't a constant thing, but it is predictable. Their value really spikes at these key moments. In early growth, it's about setting up the basic systems so you avoid total chaos. As you scale, it's about creating processes that let you delegate without losing control. When you're expanding, say, to a new market, it's about de-risking that huge move. And if you hit a crisis, it's about having an expert hand to help stabilize the ship. A professional engagement should always follow a clear logic. Be a little wary of anyone who just jumps straight to giving you advice. A good consultant starts with a deep dive, a diagnosis of your data to find the root cause, not just the symptom.
Then, they frame the problem very clearly. From there, they design a realistic action plan and, crucially, they stick around to help your team actually implement it and measure the results.
Now, to get the most value, you also have to avoid some common traps. First, remember a consultant is a guide. They're not there to run the business for you. Second, don't just shop for the cheapest price. You have to focus on the best value. Third, be crystal clear on the scope and how you'll measure success before you even start. And finally, make sure you're hiring for the right problem. A brilliant marketing consultant can't fix a broken supply chain.
So let's bring all this together. The goal isn't to have a consultant forever. The real goal is to use consultancy strategically to build a stronger, more resilient, and ultimately a system-driven business.
At the end of the day, this is the shift in mindset. You're not just paying for a report or some advice, you are investing. You're investing in clarity about your biggest challenges, you're investing in systems to solve them, the discipline to execute the plan, and way to actually measure the improvement. It's an investment in the long-term health and scalability of your company.
So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Right now, what is the single biggest bottleneck holding your business back? And be honest with yourself. Do you really have the time, the expertise, and the outside perspective to fix it? Or are you just facing a long period of expensive trial and error? The answer to that question will tell you if it's time to bring in some help.